Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, the BitBoy. Today, I want to continue talking a little bit about what we talked about the other day with Robert Kennedy Jr., with JFK, the America that almost was, the America that still made me. And in the last video, I talked to you guys about how there was an America that we could have had. However, when JFK was assassinated, things changed. And in this video, I want to talk more about what happened, how things changed, and the only way we're ever going to get the America that almost was. Still maybe? We'll see. The thing is when you go back to the JFK assassination, you have to first start with what happened. Okay, well, what happened is there was a very similar assassination plot in Chicago about 2 weeks before the Dallas shooting. And the question is, was it maybe the same people? So who did it, supposedly? Well, who did it was Lee Harvey Oswald, and he was thought to maybe be like a Soviet sympathizer, but he was welcomed back to America with open arms. Why? Maybe so he could do this. Why did he do it? Well, we don't know, because he was killed before he ever uttered public words about it. He was killed by Jack Ruby, who is a mafia nightclub owner, potentially. And so that is the what. That's what we were shown happened. There were plenty of evidence to say that there could be a second shooter, but we don't know any of that for sure, okay? None of the conspiracy theories about what happened we know for sure. None of them. They're all guesses. Some more educated than others. So the question now is, when we know what happened, why did it happen? Why were there people in our own government potentially that wanted to take out John F. Kennedy Jr.? Well, you see, he didn't like playing with the industrial military complex that had really just kicked up, I believe. I think it was before JFK, and he's the one, as he was on the way out, warned about the industrial military complex and how it could ruin America. And so JFK takes over, and he is not wanting to play ball. He did not want to drop a nuclear bomb on Russia or the Soviet Union, as was proposed, by the way. I think by Allen Dulles, who I think the Dulles Airport in Washington, D.C. is named after. JFK would eventually fire him. He did not want to continue the Bay of Pigs. He didn't want to full-out assault after the Bay of Pigs. He pulled the remaining advisors, or he pulled some people out of Vietnam, okay? He did many other things. He didn't invade Laos. He said that the FBI and the intelligence communities, they sucked, and that they needed to be pulled back. And he had a lot of issues. He said he was going to tear the CIA to shreds, okay? So you had all of that stuff going on in the background, and you had people wanting to push forward, and there's another one or two big things there that I can't recall right now. And he wanted to push through those things. He didn't want all this military action. The main thing, he was against the military-industrial complex, and this was the beginning of that. And what do we mean by that? Well, we mean war for profit, basically. That's what we mean. Or defense for profit. Now, the thing is that now we know what happened, okay? We know the why. They didn't like it. We kind of maybe know the who. We know who was pinned on. We know who was made to look like, at least, and it may have been actually. The thing is, after that, what did this cause, okay? Well, nobody in America, there were two groups of people in America, okay? Two groups of people in America, and it was 1963 this occurred. I thought it was 1964. It was, I think, November 22nd, 1963. And the question is, what happened out of this, okay? Two groups of Americans. One group of Americans that outright rejected the story. They knew immediately there was something wrong. This is a minority, okay? They knew something was wrong. There's a big minority, but it was a minority. And then you had the other group of people, which were the people that pretended to believe it. Nobody believed it. Nobody believed the story. Nobody believes that our own government did not have some hand, or someone from our government had some hand in killing JFK. Nobody believes that. Nobody, okay? Nobody accepts the story, and this was a really hard thing for that generation to swallow, as they had kind of grown up with a much different government, an actual government that was more for the people than it is now by a long shot of by a big stretch imagination. And so, maybe I didn't use that phrase correctly, but I think it does. But the point is, there's a lie, okay? There is a lie about the JFK assassination. Now, you look today and you look at conspiracy theories, and conspiracy theories abound, okay? Almost all of these theories were created after 1963. and you've got several of these theories that are kind of attached to JFK, whether it was the moon landing or anything else during that time frame. And this caused a rift in trust between the American people and the government. And so because of this original lie that was so obvious, it did two things, okay? Number one, it emboldened the government to begin lying more, okay? And number two, it caused everybody in America to stop trusting their government in the way that they had trusted it before, okay? Now, when we talk about the America that almost was and still may be, the question is, can we get back to a place of transparency? Can we get back to a place where our government could actually be for us instead of for themselves? It's a question I don't know. I like to think that maybe it could. I'm starting to have a little hope, a little more hope than maybe I had before. But the thing is, we got to try, right? We got to try. We got to go down swinging. We got to try. We got to try to see if we can save this country. And how do we do it? We do it with disclosure. America has to start trusting its government again. The government must start disclosing some things in order to clear some things up. And once disclosure and transparency begins to happen, which may never happen, we can try for it, that will change things. Now, it feels like impossible, right? It absolutely, for sure, feels impossible to think that our government can change, right? Well, the reason that we believe that is because our government is made up of people, for the most part, that know a lot more about what's going on. They don't know everything or even close to everything, but know a lot more about what's going on than the people voting for them do, okay? That's what we have to change. We have to change the intellects and the intelligence of people in this country when it comes to matters of the government, matters of economy, history, politics, finances. We need to increase the IQs. You need to learn more. And the thing is, you've got to learn more from channels like this that are actually providing you with real information instead of channels that are just telling you whatever CoinDesk says or whatever the New York Times says. All that stuff is fake. 75% of everything you see is artificial. I'm the only channel where you get real information, pretty much. And that's not even because people are doing it on purpose. They're just regurgitating what they're seeing, and a lot of it's not real. So if we were somehow to be able to start seeing some disclosure and some transparency, and I tell you, I don't know. I read an article that suggests that if we were to disclose what actually happened with the JFK assassination, it would start a ripple effect that would untangle all of the lies around our government, our country. I don't know if that's true, but there is a good movie or a good show called Dark, and they do suggest when there's a knot, you gotta untangle it. And I think that that's a knot that, if untangled, could provide a lot of context for things that happen in this country. So let me know what you guys think about this. Drop your comments down below. That's all I got. Be blessed. Good boy out.